It's what makes this a great story about discipleship, the story of Daniel, especially it being the kind of story that leads to a cross. It shows us how easy it is to get ourselves killed simply by saying, sorry, we don't dance. Saying that to Nebuchadnezzar, saying it to Pilate, saying it to any of the powers who want us to forget who we really are and whose we really are in order to dance to their music. One way to discern them is to pay attention to what's going on inside of us. When people who are in need of power ask us to do something that makes us feel queasy or dishonest, then we'll know it's time to start looking around for a gold statue. When people ask us to lie about something, to deceive others or ourselves, or to set others up to be betrayed, or to make them suffer, and then they imply that there will be dire consequences if we refuse to do that. The ball of fear and disgust growing inside of us, well, that's a sure sign that we're being recruited to worship a false god. The name of the god doesn't matter, since it has no life of its own. Its life comes from those who have set it up, and they're always on the prowl for new converts. They seek us out when we're at our most vulnerable, when we're afraid or tired or hungry for something we feel we've lost. They school us in their own literature and language, offer us rich food and drink. They appoint us to positions of power, and then one day they invite us to a dedication ceremony where we're introduced to their new god, the god they want us to follow. And the message they give us is that when the band plays, we're to worship that new god, the golden statue. We're to offer our allegiance, to thank him for all our good fortune, and promise him our loyalty from now on. That old god of ours is all worn out, they tell us. This new god is bigger, better, shinier, much more powerful, certainly more reliable. We don't have to wonder about which way to go anymore or what to do. We just have to bow down when we're told to bow, and good things will always come our way. Just bow down, and we'll all get the tests that we need now for the COVID-19 virus. Just bow down, and the virus will magically disappear. Just bow down, and the poor, the folks living in long-term care facilities, our first responders, the most vulnerable in our society, well, they can be the ones who are sacrificed in order to maintain our fabulous and wealthy economy. Just bow down and we can go back to worshiping in our synagogues, churches, and mosques. Because, after all, houses of worship are essential because the work of the church means going to church, even if it perhaps makes you sick, or you die from it, or you pass on what makes you sick to others and they die from it. That's much more important than the church feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, welcoming the stranger, bringing good news to the poor, freeing the captives and the oppressed. Now, refuse to bow, and we're told we lose everything. That's the basic pattern that those who ask us to bow down have practiced for as long as human beings can remember. If we memorize it, if we remember it and understand it, we may be able to see it when it pops up here and there. And who knows? Each of us, in our own way, will probably get the chance to choose between a golden statue and a furnace. If that happens, I encourage us to remember there are two gods in this story. One is 9 feet wide and 90 feet high, located safely outside the furnace. The other is flesh and blood, found inside the furnace. That mysterious fourth one, who appears to those of us who don't dance. That one who walks with us through the midst of the fire, through everywhere and every place that we go, giving us love, giving us hope, giving us the knowledge that we are not alone, giving us faith, and telling us, you are mine, and I am yours, this day and forevermore. Thanks be to God. Amen. And now you can stop this tape, and we'll join together in our prayers for the day on the third tape.